Hello. Gonna be doing a trip planning video today. Just explaining some brief pointers on trip planning, especially for truck drivers, using only map and truck stop guide. We're not gonna do anything digital on this one. We're just gonna imagine that everything's batteries failed or froze up, which can happen. So, you know, helpful. All right, so we're gonna be doing a trip from Tucumcari, New Mexico, and I like to write everything down. So, Tucumcari, New Mexico, all the way to Johnstown, New York. Okay. The first thing we want to do is find out where those are. Now, I know where they are because I'm in Tucumcari, but you know, more practice, right? All right. So we take our map, and when we go back here to the back, over to the index, looks like this here. I don't know if you can see it. Let's zoom in a little bit here. And I'm falling. Okay. Looks like this. You'll see the states at the top, page numbers, all that good stuff, and every state along with cities. And beside those cities, you have grid points. Yay. Fun stuff, right? All right, let's zoom back out so I can do my thing. Okay. So what you want to find in your map here, back here in the index, is a state. So we got New Mexico first. So I want to find New Mexico. Here we go. And then I want to find Tucumcari on here. And they're in alphabetical order. T-U-C, here we go. And the grid point it gives me is E-9, okay? I'm gonna write that down because I want to go ahead and get my other grid point as well. When we say E9. Okay. Let's go ahead and find our city in New York as well, Johnstown. So I'm gonna go and find New York. And, oh, little pointer. If you are looking for a city in New York and it doesn't show up in the mileage directory, you're probably going into New York City and you need a borough map in that case. I have one around here somewhere. Don't ask me where it is. I don't know. I haven't used it in a long time. I don't go to New York City very often. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. We're looking for Johnstown, New York. Johnstown. Okay, now this one's a little bit different. Some of your states are divided. So you may have an east and west map. You may have a north and south map. For the north and south ones, such as California, New York, you'll know if it's on one of the directional maps like that, where it's separated out, simply because the grid point is a little bit different. This one reads NI-17. Write that one down. Okay. Easiest way to explain it, if you see an N in front of your grid point, you're looking at a northern map. You can just go ahead and turn to the northern map. If you see an S, southern, obviously. East and west is a little bit different. In fact, let me check on that for you real quick, because I happen to know of a state that has an east and west map, which would be Texas. So I'm gonna just look for some random city like Amarillo or something, because I know, yeah, Okay. Same thing for the east and west. It'll be the direction will be the first letter in your grid point. There are some other maps in here other than your state maps and your directional maps. They're blow-ups of cities. Okay, if the grid point that you're looking at in the index refers to one of those particular maps, at the top of each section here, and let's get closer again because I want to make sure everyone can see it. Okay, you see that? Okay, at the top of each section you'll see map pages. You'll also see these little symbols with city key to page whatever. Okay, so if you see one of those symbols beside your city, then you know to look for that particular page. That's not the case today, so moving on. So first we want to find Tucumcari, New Mexico. Now to do that, I want to go to my New Mexico map. Okay, once again, everything is in alphabetical order, and if you're like me, sometimes you have to say the alphabet out loud. Doesn't mean we forgot it. Okay. Now, letters are on the side, numbers on the bottom. Okay, and we are looking for E9. So here's my 9. Here's E. And where they come together is Tucumcari. Okay. Now, I happen to actually know that I'm at mile marker 333 right now because the mile markers coincide with the exit numbers. So, I'm going east. Okay. New York's obviously on the East Coast. With that in mind, my numbers are going down. So, well, I'm going northeast, I should say. Everybody knows New York's in the northeast, right? So, all of my numbers should be going up as far as mile markers and exit numbers go. The way that goes, if you go north or you go east, your numbers go up. If you go west or south, your mile markers go down as you go, as well as your exit numbers, because, you know, they go with each other. Now, in New York, your mile markers and your exit numbers do not coincide. Same thing for New Jersey, at least most parts of it. Just thought I should point that out because it's going to become a bit of an issue later on. Yes, I've already done this trip. Let's go ahead and find Johnstown, New York. Keep your place there. We're going to come back to it. Note that it is on I-40, exit 333. Okay, let's go ahead and go over to New York. And of course, we're looking for the northern New York map. Ta-da! Okay. I love northern New York. Now, we are looking for NI-17. Now, I got 2 pages here, so I kind of want to know which page it's on. So I'm going to look at the numbers first. And my 17 is over here, so I can go ahead and fold my map so I don't have to fumble around with it. Okay. Just a little helpful win. That's just me. I don't like fumbling around with a bunch of pages. Alright. So we're looking for NI-17. Now we already know 17 is right here. NI is right here. So we're looking for where they come together. There's Johnstown right there, just north of I-90. Okay. Everybody see that? Johnstown. Yes. Okay. I don't even know if that showed up on camera. If not, I was pointing toward Johnstown. Okay. But it's just north of I-90 exit 28 off of Highway 29, State Highway 29. Okay. If you have a problem finding it. A few reference points. Okay. Note that you are close to Vermont and Massachusetts and Connecticut. Okay. All along your eastern border. That'll help you find it when we go to the larger map. Okay. Now, routing. Okay, now that we know where our 2 cities are, we want to know what kind of route are we going to take to get there. Okay. Now, everybody's heard it said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? Right. Okay. So, what I'll try to do is, hey look, we can see Tucumcari on the map. All right, there's New Mexico, Tucumcari, and up here in New York, I-90, close to Massachusetts, Vermont, and Connecticut. We're going to be looking at our spot over here. So we're just going to generalize it, okay? Now, I'm going to form a straight line with my arm, okay, between those 2 points, okay? If you do the same thing looking at your map, you notice that only a few highways fall in between it. It's easier to use a ruler. I just don't have one on me right now. I broke it, so yeah. Anyway, but your route should all fall within that line for the most part. That's going to be your shortest route, okay? So, I should also mention that you usually want to stick to interstates as much as possible. It'll be quicker, more fuel efficient, less stopping. There are going to be some routes, though, where you're going to need to run the U.S. highways or state highways just to make your load on time, honestly. Also, because it would have been a lot more fuel if you went a different way. For instance, if I was going from, let's say, Seattle, Washington, down to Phoenix, Arizona, right? Okay. If I do the same thing that I just did, there are no north-south highways that fall in that line at all. It's all U.S. Okay. I could leave Seattle on 90, drop down 82 to 84, run 84 down to 15, and 15 down to 40 in California, and then run 40 to 17 south and hit Phoenix like that. That's a lot of out of the way. Okay. You'd have a much easier time. Where is it? Okay. If you come out, okay, pretty much to Ontario, Oregon, okay? Come out here, that covers your east-west, okay? And then from Ontario, Oregon, you're actually going to enter Idaho for a little bit. And this is from memory, by the way, guys, okay? Been doing this for 5 years, a little over 5 years now, about a little over 5.5 actually now. I've done this trip several times. I used to live up there, so don't feel bad if you don't know this yet. Okay, this video is for beginners, and I've been in it for a minute. All right. Anyway, but you drop down 95, US 95, that is. Okay, it ties into 84 minute, and it zigzags a little bit, but it's better off. You'll be better off than going all the way over to an interstate to do this. Okay, it runs with 84 minute, but continues south. You're gonna run 95 all the way to Las Vegas. Okay, from there you can run 93, and you could actually run 93 all the way down to Phoenix if you wanted to. Personally, I don't like doing that. I like to get my butt off the U.S. highways as soon as possible. Me, once I hit 40 in Kingman, I'm running 40 across to Flagstaff, run 17 down to Phoenix. Okay, that was off on a tangent. Back to our route. Okay, Tucumcari, Johnstown. All right. Now, just looking at it, if you were to leave from Tucumcari, you have the option of taking US 54 up out of New Mexico, through Texas, through the panhandle of Oklahoma, all the way till you hit 135. Now, our target here is to get to an interstate, okay? That puts you on a toll road really early, okay? And actually, we're going to end up taking toll roads anyway, but just thought you should know. that's going to put you getting on 335 to get up to Topeka, where you hit 70. And from 70, you can run 70 on over all the way through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, until you get to Columbus, where you want to take 71 to 71 to 77, up to 90, and run 90 on over. Okay. Part of that is what we're going to end up doing. The first part is not, though, because 54 is not very fast. It is actually good for fuel if you're going east. Okay. If you're going west, you're going to have a headwind. Just be prepared for it. So if you're picking up in Liberal, you're going to have wind. Okay. All right. What we're actually going to end up doing is running 40 across, okay, to Oklahoma City. Okay. In Oklahoma City, I'm going to catch the Kilpatrick. Is that? Yeah, that is the. I want to say that's Kilpatrick Turnpike. Rogers Turnpike, sorry. Actually, it's two different turnpikes. It splits. But it's I-44. Okay. It's the Turner Turnpike, looks like, and Will Rogers Turnpike. Okay. We're going to take 44 up into St. Louis. And there we want to find some kind of way to catch 70. Now, me personally, I don't like going around cities if I don't have to. That takes extra time. It's extra fuel. I'd rather just go straight through. So unless there's a major issue and I check traffic and weather conditions before driving through there, that's another video. But as long as there's no issues, no prohibited routes, which would be listed in the front of your book, under each state in the red section here, you have way stations, you have restricted routes, you have low clearance locations for every state. So any major highway would be back here. It's not going to cover side streets, obviously, be too many. But any major highway, in other words, U.S. highways, state highways, and interstates, that are in here for you to know if you are on a proper route. I can go ahead and tell you that the route that we are going to be on today is not restricted to us at all. Okay? Like I was saying, we're on 44. We're headed up towards St. Louis. At St. Louis, 44 ends. Okay? So I have to pick a different option. I can either go up 55 all the way to 90, but that puts me in Chicago. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to avoid traffic. Okay? I'd rather run 70. Okay? Okay, so we're going to go 44 to 70. And 70 still goes slightly in a northeastern direction. Mostly east, but slightly northeastern. Okay? Once we hop on 70, then we're looking to run 70 across all the way to Columbus. Remember how I said part of the route was going to be the same? Yeah. Alright, when we get to Columbus, we're going to catch 71 going north. 71 north to 77. This is 77 right here in Ohio. And if you look at the Ohio map, the northern map, you'll see it a little bit better. 71 to 77 north. And that'll take us up to